I'm a PhD student in biological sciences, and I have several chronic genetic disabilities, including Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, inappropriate sinus tachycardia, and postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, as well as migraines and some other things that sort of come along with that. And I just thought it'd be cool to share some tips and tricks that I have for science as a disabled scientist. So my number one hack that I have is essentially I got this pull-out soccer bench from Dick's Sporting Goods that I can lay on when I pass out, so I'm not in danger of getting chemicals on me or anything else that's on the floor. And I like this because it has this little flap here, and this is how I know which side to put my feet on, so I'm not getting stuff from my shoes in my hair. And I can keep that in like a little bag. I have a large plastic bag that I will keep it in sometimes. My hypermobility makes my thumbs dislocate, especially when I'm pipetting. So I got these super thin like thumb braces for when I'm doing work. And these are nice because they can go under your gloves and not be too bulky. I also definitely use the hell out of a rolly chair, so I just don't have to stand up more than I need to. And I've lowered everything on my bench, so it's like in my height where I can reach sitting down or standing up, and I don't have to raise my arms above my head. I also have this migraine ice pack that I keep in the freezer, and it's nice because it goes over your head and it can cover your eyes, and the cold actually helps reduce the migraine because it reduces the blood flow to the brain. I'm also autistic, so I have this bowl of just fidget toys for when I need it. And I also keep a stash of my medications just perpetually here in case I need them. This one is cute because it's got so many different organized compartments and it's very discreet. I also like to clean any walls that I might be working near just in case that I pass out, just to make sure that there's no chemicals on there, because unfortunately, like at Vanderbilt, the cleaning services here, they only take the trash out. So I'm sure these walls are just covered in like decades worth of grime and chemicals. One of the symptoms of POTS is brain fog, and I often have to count colony numbers on plates. So what I'll do is I got this clicker, and essentially I will put a Sharpie mark on the plate where each yeast colony is, and every time I put the Sharpie mark, I'll just click. So I don't have to remember the numbers, and I can just know that I have like an accurate count and don't have to keep recounting if I lose my track place. In my building, sometimes people will make like comments about people using the elevator to go up one flight of stairs. So I got some pins that I put on my bags and my backpack that essentially just say like I have invisible disabilities, just to sort of lessen the chance that people are going to make those rude comments, and I don't have to worry about it as much. I'm in Nashville, and unfortunately Vanderbilt, all of the parking garages are not really close to the building, and it gets super, super hot. And with POTS, I can't temperature regulate, and the heat actually makes me pass out because I don't get good circulation, so I just get super overheated, and it makes me more dehydrated as well. So I got like one of these electrical scooters that people can get, so I can just essentially go for very fast from my parking garage to my building. Like my school did have like a disability service ride, but it's very unfortunate because you have to schedule it way in advance, and they give you like a 20 to 40 minute window of when you have to be there. And if I'm waiting outside for 20 to 40 minutes, that's essentially the same as if I walked 10 or 15 minutes to my building. I also have this electrolyte powder that I use. It's Nutriana, and I like this one a lot because most electrolytes, unfortunately, they use a cyanide derivative for vitamin B12. Maybe it's D12. It's one of them. And that can be really bad if you have like the MTHFR mutation, or you take other medications that can impact your kidney. although the dose is super low, so it should be okay in theory, but if you're taking it every day and you have all of these other conditions, that can definitely cause some issues. And unfortunately, all of the main electrolyte powders that I can find are using that cyanide derivative. Cyanoalbumin, I think it's called. I can make a different video that goes a little bit more in depth about that. And I also there's NUUN, and there's a service called Buoy, and those both don't have that cyanide derivative. Peppermint and mint, the menthol, can help with migraines. So I just have peppermint essential oils, and then I also have these peppermint tea that I use if I ever get a migraine. And my lab has a room that's essentially safe for us to eat and drink in. No chemicals come in here. So I always just keep a perpetual snack stash just in case I do need to end up eating if I'm feeling dizzy or whatnot. Yeah, so these are just some of my tricks. I'm sure I have more. And maybe I'll make a second video if I think of any, but these have really helped me. And I found that universities don't really accommodate you, so you kind of have to learn how to accommodate yourself, unfortunately.